Hello everyone and welcome to a new video, something between a restoration and a customization. Today we have this UK exclusive My Little Pony Gusty. And if you do have a Gusty from the US, you might recognize some of the differences, mainly the eye color and the symbol. The symbol for the UK exclusive is actually purple or lilac, and it has no glitter. So I found this Gusty amongst the many ponies I buy to repair and create kits, and I noticed it actually just needs maybe a nice wash and some new hair, which gave me one idea, something I have been thinking about during the last few days, weeks, months. It has to do with this stripe of hair here, and I will tell you more about it soon. I hope you are okay with the changes I made for this pony. I think they're a bit controversial for restoration, but like I said, this is something in between. So let's get started. As usual, the first thing we're going to do is clean the pony with some hot water and soap. But there is another tool I haven't used in a while that is actually really efficient for projects like this, and it's the magic sponge. So we're going to do both. We're going to start with some soap, and I'm going to use one of my hard bristle brushes. This should be enough for the dust, but it's not going to remove some of the deeper marks, and that's why I wanted to use something a little more abrasive. Because who doesn't like trying new things? I do, and that's why this week I partnered with Craftsy, an online community with all sorts of classes and demonstrations, so you can get inspired and advance your skills or just try something new. As I mentioned before, I do a lot of learning by trying, which is fun, but it's always great to have a base to do things, correctly from the get-go. Luckily, Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative, and not just classes, but also videos and patterns, which are so essential. So just to name a few of the classes I have been trying, I watched Leather and Vinyl Sewing for Beginners with Mary Beth Temple. I love that she's a cosplayer, so she had lots of tips for another one of my secret hobbies. I also loved How to Crochet with Beads from the same super talented member. It was great to spice up my very humble knitting skills. And right after this video I will jump into working with felt, because you will see I need it. It's dangerous because there are so many classes, so you will see lots of new projects coming soon. Especially I think I will put them on the light channel because I have so many things I want to try. Now here is the best part. The first 1,000 of you to click the link in the description will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49, and this is valid for new members only. And if you want to watch me try something new, you can also pick and suggest any classes and I will give it my best try. So thank you so much Craftsy for sponsoring this video. Cannot wait to try even more things. And let's go back to cleaning our pony and then we'll make some clothes for it. Or try at least. Okay. While we do some cleaning, I will kind of go to the future a little bit and tell you my reasoning behind why I chose to do a semi-customization instead of only a restoration. Looking at my demographic breakdown, I think some of you might relate. I am myself a vintage person. I was born in 1984, so I'm just a tiny bit younger than this pony. And when you get to this age, you go through a lot of physical changes that many of us are not really aware of because there isn't that much information around. And if you are neurodivergent, these changes are even more pronounced. Some are terrible, especially during the heat wave. Some are confusing and weird, and others are fun. One of my favorite changes is actually something that not many people share my love for, which is grey hairs. I love my new grey hairs. I started to grow them almost from one day to the next, and because I always had very thin hair and the new ones are a bit thicker, I feel like I'll finally have like fuller hair. And because they're so light, I can dye them into any color I want. I think many people in their early 40s or late 30s, early 40s can also maybe relate to this thing that you stop caring so much about what other people might think. There is less desire to like accommodate things that are not comfort or just it's a bit difficult to explain, and it's weird to talk about it, but for me it feels almost like a second adolescence. Like I am figuring out who I am right now, and I feel that for a long time who I was not determined but so influenced by everything around me, my culture, my country, my relationships, and now it's like, okay, I am just me, and now what do I like, what do I want? And more importantly, as your sensory issues get a little trickier as you get older, what I will no longer stand or mask. Everyone talks about youth so much and laments the loss of youth, and I hadn't really heard much about this sort of new secret era that comes after. And all of this is to say this pony will have grey hair. And then I'll tell you how I actually took the best decisions of my life after I turned 35. And I intend this to be quite a positive and hopefully not too boring reflection, because I had this realization that I had never felt better than now. And if you're a vintage human too, maybe this will give you a different perspective if you're struggling. So let's jump to the next section. The bath and magic sponge did a lot for the pony. All we need to do now is just use some acetone to remove some of those other marks that are not really dirt or dust, but more, I don't know, paint maybe. Oh, I don't know if you saw before, but there were some pen marks at the top of the pony and the magic sponge actually removed them all. So very happy about that. Now let me please tell you some of the things I achieved after I turned 35, starting with this channel, which is a very small channel, but still something I never thought I would be doing. And now it's become kind of my main thing. Like, I have my work, and that's another thing. Actually, I decide what to work on when I have my websites, and I have lots of little projects. I even have some passive income that has been in the works for more than 10 years, but it was only during the last 5 years or so that I could dedicate more time to it, and now it's grown to a point where there is something coming in there, even if I cannot do as much work that month. I also met the love of my life during the last, well, not during, 5 years ago. Almost 5 years ago to the date. 5 or 6? It was definitely after I turned 35 or around the time. I also, for the first time, have a home I can call my own. I am living in a country that I feel like I arrived, like this is where I want to be. Another thing is that I did write a novel, a sci-fi novel, around the time, maybe that was 7 years ago, but still, I guess it counts. And a couple of nights ago, I started writing my second book, because that first book was terrible and nobody wanted to publish it, but now I'm writing another one. I guess that's not an achievement per se, but the good part is that I actually started it. Stopped worrying about, oh, should I do this or not, and I just did it. And that is an achievement in itself for me personally. Oh, and I also made a new friend, which is no small task, because it can be quite difficult to make new friends or new really good friends. And I met this friend because I wanted to push myself and go to like a neighborhood housewarming thing where I didn't know anyone, and I was so nervous I thought I was going to have a panic attack, but I didn't. I went and I met someone incredible, and I feel she's gonna be my friend forever. And yeah, I met her when I was 41, when I am 41. There are so many things I thought I would have now that I don't have. Things I thought I wanted that I don't really need anymore. Oh, that's a satisfying noise. And the other thing, okay, I stop now with the list, but I would just say that another thing I gained in the last maybe 6 months is a new dream. My dream now is to have a workshop here at home and to have a makerspace somewhere else. And I had mentioned before that I wanted a makerspace for young people. I actually want a makerspace for anyone. And there will be some courses that should be focused on trying new cool things and machines if you are a perimenopausal or menopausal person. I should clarify, if you just arrived to this video and have no idea what I'm talking about, I mean laser cutting machines, CNCs, 3D printers and things like that that I absolutely love. So yeah, I guess the last point is I found so many new passions in my late 30s and to this day. And they're not time fillers. They are things that truly excite me, that can help others, and that I hope I will feel the same way about when I'm 70, if I am lucky enough to have that much time ahead. Alright, I think I have shared my main thoughts, and now I will leave you with some music while we do the rehairing and the booties, the little boots. I will explain it now, because I think we will see each other again for the results, and the results will not show what I will attempt to do with the felt. Like I said, I want to take the felt course. I haven't done it yet. If I had, I would have been able to do the boot. What boots, you ask? Yes, I haven't explained it. I felt this body represented not autumn itself, but the end of the summer in a way. I really don't like the summer. I don't deal well with heat, especially now. So I am looking forward to autumn, just like I'm looking forward to having more grey hairs. And I'm looking forward to wearing my boots again. I love boots. So I tried to make some for this pony. I think I failed. I will attempt this again, but I wanted to show you what I tried because it took me a lot of effort and I felt bad just leaving it out. Think of it as the scientific method. Failing also teaches us things. So you will see my failures and you can avoid them. I have said enough. Oh, one last thing, if you made it this far, if you can let me know, would you like me to make a video to help you sleep? Some of you had mentioned in the comments that you watch the videos to help you sleep, and I can get very excited when I start talking, so I want to make a video that is like more quiet and slow. And if you have any pony topics for this, any custom ideas, please let me know, or any advice, because you know me better than, you know my voice better than I do. Alright, I do stop now. Music, see you soon. Alright, let's look at our little Gusty pony before. This was a small project, but I think it had quite an impact on how the pony looks. This is the after. I use some big curls for the hair, so we're going to do a little something to that first. Because just like in real life, the hair is not what we expected. So I decided to add some of this wax thread and make a braid for the tail, kind of beautify it a little bit. She doesn't have to be a beauty influencer, she can just be comfortable. So yeah, this is our little new Gusty with some new beautiful grey hair and some purple hair because she chose to dye it and change it and find her own voice. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching and supporting my silly projects. These are my therapeutic ponies. Anyway, thank you again, Crafty, for sponsoring this video. Please check the classes because there are so many amazing things, and thank you so much to all of you for watching. Thank you to the patrons, especially for actively helping me maintain this channel. And I will see you very soon for the next one. The next one is going to be a Polly Pocket style project. So if you want to try your own customs or restorations, you can find my book and the materials in my Etsy shop. And you can use the Discord to connect to other people interested in this kind of things and ask me questions directly. So, hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye!